Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining me for another episode of my YouTube channel. A few episodes back, I had talked about insecurity to a degree. Now, I am one of the people who, I assume, let's start by me saying I assume that many people have a lot of insecurities. Now, I think this is a normal case for humanity. I think this is a problem of mind. I was watching this short documentary on crabs and how most of the things we call crabs aren't actually crabs. Now, this is besides the point. As I'm watching this documentary, they put the image of a king crab, skittering, or with this scuttering on its side, right? Moving sideways. And it has eyes on either side of its head. And this random thought popped into my head. I wonder what that crab is thinking. And another light bulb went off. Like, hey, no. The crab doesn't think. The crab just exists. It just moves. It just seeks nourishment. It just wants to survive. It just wants to procreate. It doesn't even want these things. These things are just biological facts that the crab has no option but to pursue. Now, if the crab did think, it might look at one pincer and the other pincer and say that this pincer isn't as big as this pincer. I am asymmetrical. This is a problem. Now he might meet another group of crabs, and they might form an association, a committee, and decide, you know what, we're going to create a body, an institution that solves this problem of asymmetry in pincers. How about, sir, I have a brilliant idea. How about cosmetic surgery? How about we enlarge one pincer or shrink down another pincer, and now we are symmetrical? But here's the problem with mind. The problem with mind is just as the crab has no option but to pursue its biological imperative. Your mind has no. The mind has no option but to pursue a new problem to try and solve. You might say, oh no, Oscar, that's the human mind. That's the human brain. That's how we're designed. No, I believe. My experience that it's the mind, because as soon as I solve one thing, I scatter around in my mind looking for another problem. And the crabs might realize, you know what? It would be just much better if our eyes were not on the sides of our heads. It doesn't look too good. We need to bring them closer together. Insecurity drives man. And I wonder if this is a thing that I see it all around. I see it in my life. The insecurities that I keep running from, it's both a motivating agent, and it's also, my sponsor has a great phrase. What does he say? He says, I forget. Something to do with jets and flying. Something to do with drag coefficient. The insecurities, are they reducing or increasing my drag coefficient? I don't quite remember, but I remember thinking that's a brilliant phrase. Yeah, the insecurities are both pushing me and slowing me down. And what I think I mentioned a few episodes back, whereby being insecure about my financial positions makes me strive for better ideas to overcome these problems. But at the same time, whenever I have an idea and I'm striving to make this idea a reality, another insecurity is telling me how it cannot be accomplished. Because there's this problem here, you can't actually do this. But I wanted to do this so I can solve this other problem over here. And I'm just in this endless loop. I'm the thinking crab. I am the thinking crab. Everything goes back to the crab. Everything goes back to the crab. And this is what is called carcinization, I believe. Look this up. I could be wrong with that terminology. The idea that everything goes back to the crab. I am a thinking crab. And I can't help but find problems all around me. And these problems, the longer I look at them, the more likely they are to become insecurities. Yes, and that's actually the case. The longer you look, the more likely it is to become an insecurity. The problem, they are rarely problems. It's something that you keep looking at and giving attention to that does not deserve your attention. Most of what the individual considers an insecurity is not actually a big enough problem to be classified as an insecurity. Trust me. Some people care about their height. Some people about their body weight. Unless it's something you can actually change yourself, why worry? I guarantee you, and this is from personal experience, you worry more than other people care. Most people don't even notice that thing that is causing you all the sleepless nights. So, do you want to be a thinking crab, or do you want to be a free crab? You decide.